Hey there, welcome to Whiskey and Whit. I'm Whitney, and today's video is going to be a Dollar Tree DIY for spring. It has been just the craziest weather here in Illinois this weekend. It was so nice. Today it was 50 degrees, and then tomorrow when this video is going up, it's supposed to rain and snow. So let's bring some of that, wishful spring inside with these DIYs, so stay tuned. Real quick, before I get into it, because I know I will get questions, today is February 23rd. This video is going up tomorrow, February 24th, and still no baby. Little man is still in there, still percolating, so still no baby. I get a ton of questions on videos of, is this pre-filmed? Do you have the baby? No, I have not had the baby yet. I will be sure to update you guys when I do, but I'm sitting in his nursery because this chair is literally the comfiest in the house, so why not film intros here? So without further ado, let's get into these Dollar Tree DIYs. Also a preface, you do not need a Cricut. I went the non-Cricut route, so let's get started.
Up first is this flower basket. It's completely customizable. You can pick the paint color, the flowers, the literal whole thing. So let's jump into this one. So to make this, I used 3 of these Horray Canvas signs from the Dollar Tree, as well as some Dollar Tree roses. Step 1 is to disassemble your signs. So I took a flathead screwdriver and I went around and popped out the staples so I could remove the canvas on the outside. This process is very similar to what we've done in the past for reverse canvas like pictures and signs and things. So I really like doing this. It's kind of a pain, but once you make it through, you've got this really good piece of bones to build your crate from. So then I took my handy dandy Waverly chalk paint. I say this every video because that's what I use. It's from Walmart. I'll link it down below. And I made sure to paint the outside of everything, the edges that you were going to see, and then also the inside top edges. Once that all dried, I used my glue gun and I started assembling. So I took the bottom one, I added the next one, and this is a similar concept to the Easter one we made in a previous video, but I'm not using anything to give open slats. I just wanted this to be a box instead of kind of a see-through box. This is how I transferred the Fresh Flower Market words onto the box without a Cricut. So you're going to print out whatever you want it to say on printer paper, and then you're going to color on the back with just some lead pencil, so then that way you can transfer it. Once your back is completely covered with the pencil, line it up to where you want and then trace it. Usually for tracing, for me, the thing that works the best is block letters like this. Serif or sans serif, it doesn't matter, but the block letters more than a script font make it a lot easier. So once I went through and traced everything, I had a faint outline of the word market. So I went through with just a regular Sharpie. You don't want it to be too fine tipped, but you don't want it to be too thick either. So you want something where you have some control, but you're not going to be coloring in for 3,900 days to fill in your letters. So I went in, just filled it in with the Sharpie. If you are talented with paint, you could definitely do that too. I am not. I needed the control of the Sharpie, but went through, filled in everything, and then the next step was to add the fresh flower. Did the exact same thing. This is a free printable I found on Pinterest. I will link that blog down below if you'd like to do the exact same thing. You can make something in Canva. There are a ton of different options. The only kicker is when you print it, you want to print it to the right size, so then that way you just have to put it right on and it's good to go. So the first step in assembling my actual flower arrangement are these lamb's ear picks from Walmart. Now they are not Dollar Tree, but they're 2 picks for $2, so they're $1 each. And this lamb's ear totally matches my aesthetic in the room I wanted to use it, so I decided to go with the Walmart option versus Dollar Tree, but you can use whatever you would like. So what I'm using here is some tin snips to trim the ends, so then that way it sits flat because the bottom is open. You don't want anything going down too far. Then I use those same tin snips to go through and cut apart the flowers, remove all of the leaves from the roses just because that makes them look a little more high-end to me. And I'm just using the white ones in here, but you could use the white. They've got pretty pink ones. They've got a ton of different options. And I just started filling them in. I started to hot glue stuff, but it stayed pretty well for me without the hot glue. And that is it. I do like that it's not glued because I can change this to whatever flowers that I want. It really fits my living room decor. And honestly, I could flip this around and put something on it maybe for fall. So it's pretty versatile. Up next is this welcome spring sign. And as you can see, I took advantage of some leftover lamb's ear for this one as well. So they all kind of look like they go into a set. I recently hauled this sign thinking of a master plan. I was thinking about putting it in the nursery. Then I needed something for that wreath area. So step one was to go through and remove all of the glitter off the front. I just used a 120 grit sandpaper. I taped off the top, so I left that the wood color, and then I went through and painted this with Waverly chalk paint. Because the colors are pretty bright and there's a lot going on there, I had to do 3 coats, so keep that in mind. Chalk paint I love, but a lot of people, if you don't use it regularly, you put 1 coat on and you freak out because it looks not great. The second and third coat are like the hero coats, so stick with it. So then I did the same process here that I did with the box with the whole pencil transfer. This design was a little bit smaller, so it made it a little easier for me to transfer it. This is actually something that I made myself in Canva, so as always, I will link it down below for you if you would like to make this sign yourself. Then you can kind of see there the faint pencil lines. Then I did the same thing, went through with my trusty Sharpie and outlined everything. All Sharpies are not created equal, especially when it comes to dark colors like black. If you have an old Sharpie, you're gonna get a gray, like icky color. So you wanna make sure that you have a pretty fresh Sharpie, especially writing on paint like that. So then I use those tin snips again. Honestly, those are my favorite thing. We have them in our garage and I cut like everything with them. I took the little kind of bread tie thing that came with those and used that to hold it together, but you could use a ton of different things, zip ties, pipe cleaners, whatever, just so then the 2 stems hook together. Then I added some hot glue. And then I used a little bit sparingly so that I had a couple leaves that stuck to the sign, just so then that way it kind of laid where I wanted it to. I didn't want to glue everything because then it would look too stiff. Then I popped the top of roses off, and I originally had a plan to use 4, but I only ended up using 2 so it didn't look too busy. But I just took some hot glue, inserted them into the lamb's ear. And then the center looked a little blah, but I thought the flowers would be too much. So I just took some Dollar Tree burlap ribbon and created a simple bow with some tails to finish off the sign. Really like that this is a wired ribbon. I like to make all my bows with wired ribbon just so then that way it sits where you want it to. It's not as flimsy and you can fluff it up wherever you need a little extra oomph. I love the little spring pizzazz it adds to our coffee bar area. It is just enough spring, but it's not overwhelming, and it really fits my decor. And our last project today is this hoop wreath. I've seen a ton of people make these lately, and I don't have any in my house, so I really wanted to make one, and I thought it went really well with this set. So again, I'm using the Walmart lamb's ear, some Dollar Tree roses, and then also these lavender picks from Walmart. I talked before about how icky the Dollar Tree lavender is this year, and honestly, it's only a little bit more expensive to get it from Walmart, so that's what I would suggest. The first step that I did was took apart a 3D wreath form that I got at the Dollar Tree. If you don't have this, you can buy one of these at a regular craft store, but I was excited to see that Dollar Tree had it. And then I went through and first added my lamb's ear. The bottom has a little bit of a wire texture to it, so I was just able to wrap it around the form instead of gluing it. Then I used my trusty tin snips to get apart the lavender, made a couple little bundles of those, and then I did the same thing I did with the sign, 2 white roses to finish off the look. Again, if your center looks a little blah like mine did, I just added some buffalo check ribbon. This particular one is from Hobby Lobby. I had it on hand, but I have seen black and white buffalo check ribbon at the Dollar Tree, so if you're lucky enough to snag that, you can definitely use that. and then I tied a hanger. So I wanted to add this to a sign. So this is a quick trick. I just tie a knot like this in the back, feed it through the little tooth hanger, and it will hang your wreath on a sign. I also love that it's easy to remove when the next holiday comes.
I love all of these. I really think that my favorite is that Fresh Flower Market box, just because it turned out so good with the non-stencil method with the pencil. If this is your first time stopping by Whiskey and Whit, I hope you will consider hitting the subscribe button down below. And if you've been here for a while with me, I hope you will consider sharing my videos, whether that's on Pinterest, on your Facebook, sharing my posts on Instagram. It really helps my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Your support of this channel means everything. Check out my Instagram for baby updates, but as of tonight, no baby, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!